You've been told to let go of the past, but you've tried, haven't you? And the harder you push it away, the tighter it clings. Here's the truth. The mind doesn't work by forgetting. It works by recasting. The Egyptians knew this thousands of years ago, in the story of a king who was murdered, cut into pieces, and stitched back together. That story holds a key to understanding your mind today. If you keep carrying the past in the wrong way, it will shape everything about your present. Psychologists call this rumination, the looping of old injuries and mistakes, until they carve deep grooves in the mind. Each replay strengthens the memory, hardening it into your identity. What was once an event becomes who you believe you are. It colors your choices, your relationships, your confidence. You might think you are just remembering, but really, you're rehearsing a script that keeps running your life. The question is not whether or not you can let go. You can't. The real question is, how can you carry the past differently so it strengthens you instead of weakening you? When you recall a memory, your brain does not simply play a recording. It rebuilds it. For a few hours after that recall, the memory is flexible. Neuroscientists call this reconsolidation. If nothing new is added, the memory restores exactly as it was. But if something strikingly different is introduced during that window, the brain attaches the new meaning to the old event. The past is not erased, but is transformed. This explains why simply trying to forget never works. Forgetting is not what the brain does. Updating is. And when you fail to update, the past keeps returning to its original painful form. And this is the mechanism that we can use to change. And it's the principle that sits behind myths and philosophies that have endured for thousands of years. History shows us how this works on a larger scale. In 403 BCE, Athens had been torn apart by civil war. Families betrayed each other. Friends killed friends. When the war ended, the victors faced a choice. Keep dragging the past into every courtroom or find a way to move forward. They passed a radical decree. No man shall prosecute the past. It did not make people forget. Every family still remembered who'd harmed them. But it stopped the endless cycle of retaliation. Athens recontextualized its past. Not erased, but reframed. And because of that, it survived. In the same way, your mind needs its own decree. A decision that you'll no longer prosecute yourself endlessly. This does not mean denial. It means choosing to redirect the energy of memory. That choice is where transformation begins. The Egyptians told the same truth through story. Osiris, the king, was betrayed by his jealous brother and murdered. His body was torn into pieces and scattered across the land. His wife, Isis, searched deserts and riverbanks, gathering each fragment, stitching him back together. Osiris was reborn, not restored to what he once was, but transformed into the ruler of the underworld. His scars became symbols of his new sovereignty. This is what happens in the mind. The events of the past cannot be removed. They are fragments scattered across your memory, but they can be stitched back into a story that holds power rather than pain. There is another story we prefer. The phoenix, consumed in fire, rising pure from the ashes. We love this because it promises erasure, but this is not how change works. Fire does not remove everything. It strips away what cannot be carried. What rises is not brand new, it's renewed, still bearing its essence, but transformed. The phoenix teaches us not to chase forgetting, but to accept renewal. Just as Osiris was reassembled, just as Athens reframed its story, you too must recast rather than release. The philosopher Nietzsche called this amor fati, the love of one's fate. He meant that you must not merely tolerate your scars, but embrace them as necessary parts of who you are becoming. To wish your past away is to wish away yourself. To love your fate is to recognize that even the painful events have shaped your strength, your clarity, and your resilience. This is not approval of injustice or suffering. It is the recognition that your scars can either remain chains or they can become armor. The choice is not in what happened, but in what meaning you now attach to it. That meaning is in your hands. This is why reconsolidation is so powerful. The past does not vanish, but when you recall it and introduce new meaning, it changes the structure of the memory itself. Each time you do this, the scar alters. It becomes a symbol of wisdom rather than weakness. The mind is not built for letting go. It is built for recasting. When Isis finished gathering the fragments, Osiris did not return to the throne he once held. He He became the ruler of the underworld, sovereign in a new domain. His incompleteness was not a flaw, it was the source of his new authority. The same is true for you. You will not return to who you were before the pain. That version of you is gone. But you can decide what the scars will mean. And in that decision, you gain a new kind of sovereignty. Here is how to use reconsolidation in practice. Step 1. Recall. In a quiet place, bring the memory to mind as clearly as you can. Notice the details, the sounds, the feelings in your body. Step 2. Contradict. While holding the memory, bring in new truth. Breathe deeply and slowly. Remind yourself that you are safe now, that you have support now, that you have skills you did not have then. Speak compassion that was absent in the moment. This happened, it was painful, but it does not define me. Step 3. Recast. Out loud, state the new meaning. Write it down if you must. Fix it in your mind, and then the brain will encode this updated meaning into the memory itself. The event remains, but its weight changes. There are other practices that also help strengthen this process. The first is the values compass. Write down 5 values that matter most to you. Each day, choose one small act that serves one of those values. Even a tiny action proves that you are living by choice, not memory. The second is self-compassion. Write a self-compassion letter to yourself as if you were a close friend. Offer the words you wish had been spoken to you. Read it aloud, and this can break the hold of shame and teach your body a new way to relate to your own story. So, what is the takeaway? You cannot let go of the past. You can only recast it into wisdom, into strength, into the armor that allows you to move forward with dignity. If this gave you a new way to carry your own story, share it with someone who you know is still weighed down by theirs. We are all gathering fragments. The question is, not whether we can forget, but what we will build from what remains.